everyone, it's Ram,
And Ruby.
and welcome back to Behind the Screens. And
Yes.
today is episode 8, I think?
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh my
okay,
girl, we're getting
and
we're working on getting consistent for y'all
well,
because
mhm.
we did not want to. I'm not gonna lie, I did not want to film today, but I was like, "Bram,
Me
we need to
neither,
do
but,
it.
like,
We need,
we
we need."
gotta do it. I was just like, we were doing it for you guys. But
So,
anyways, Ruby,
oh,
what are we talking about today?
today,
Oh,
today, sorry, today we're talking about our past and like everything we went through with like weight loss and weight gain and like just struggles we've had to do with like stuff like that. We're gonna start off with my story and then we're gonna move on. Girl, why'd you go?
sorry.
Why'd you go?
Uh, no, I was trying to, like, look at myself in the look in the camera more. I don't know why I took to my head.
Okay, yeah, guys, we're going to talk about my story, then we're gonna move on to Rem's story, and we're just gonna jump right into it. This before we start, this is a trigger warning that we are gonna be talking about a lot of very triggering topics for some people. So yeah, if you find talking about like eating disorders and like going through like weight loss and like like um toxic parents and like stuff like that, just be mindful when you're watching the next part of the video. Okay, guys. So we're gonna start off with my story, and then we're gonna like go to Rem's, like I just said. Um, let's just jump right into it because honestly, it's a lot and it's very overwhelming. So again, trigger warning. So I think my journey started probably like I want to say 20. I think it was 2010 ish. It was probably when I was like 5 because I've always struggled with like weight issues ever since I was little. Um, And, like, of course, I was born a small baby, like, I was a petite baby, and then, like, when I was, like, young, like, I was a toddler, I was skinny, but I don't know if it was because, like, my mom at the time, she was, like, very overweight, and my dad, he was not super overweight, but, he wasn't fucking skinny and, like, fit. He was, like he had a little bit of weight put on him. So, my mom, because after she gave birth to me, it was her first pregnancy and she ate a lot with me, like a lot. So she gained a lot of weight. And I guess that's just what I grew up on. And my dad, when I was younger, he's the type of dad that he's like, "Oh, finish your food, like eat all your food." Like he would make me and like my siblings eat like the whole plate and stuff like that. Like he was like against leftovers and like throwing food away and stuff like.
Mhm,
So he would always be like, "There's starving kids in Africa." Da, da, da. Now it's obviously different. Like now, like raising Jacob and like raising like my second to youngest brother. Like I'm like, if you don't want to eat it, like don't eat it, right? Because like I was always forced like to like finish my food and stuff. So I told them like, if you want to eat it, eat it. But if you don't want to eat it, it's okay. Like don't worry about it. Throw it away. No one's gonna die just because you threw away like fucking two pieces of bread.
mhm,
So, um, it was always, like, very challenging for me because I don't even, like, really know why. I was very happy when I was little, and I was very, like, for the most part, because, like, when I was little, I'll tell the story right now. I talk about it in my YouTube video, with Jacob, but when I was little, I used to get bullied in elementary school, and there used to be this little girl on the bus who, like, she would steal my lunch. Cause like, my mom, she's very sweet. And this is, like, obviously after, like, a couple years after, like, I started, like, gaining weight and stuff, and my mom had already lost all the weight, but I was kinda, like, left in the dark, cause my mom, when she was little, she took me to the doctor, and she was like the doctor told her, she was like, "You need to, like, get her under control cause she's at the risk of being diabetic," right? And my mom, she was like, "Oh, shit," like and mind you, I was, like, probably, like, 5, 6 at the time. So my mom, I know it hurt her a lot as a mom to be like, "Oh shit, like I'm not doing a good job as a mom," and I'm like, "This is my daughter and like it's my fault." So like it was like almost heartbreaking to me to like talk about it because like I don't want her to be like, "Oh yeah, it's like her fault." It's obviously it's not. It just happened. It's like no one's fault or whatever, but like The thing about it is that, like, there was this little girl and she would steal my lunch. And I guess because of my weight, she would always be I wasn't like, overweight, right? Because girl, I was a little girl. But like I wasn't as skinny as like the other kids, right? So this little girl, she was stealing my lunch. And I remember one time she literally told me, she's like, "Oh, you don't need lunch anyways. You're big enough." And the way that literally like that set me back a lot as a child because like I would never tell that to like anybody, not even a grown ass adult. Like that's so like damaging emotionally for a child. And I don't know if this little girl was like, because she was not skinny either. So I don't know if the call was coming from inside the house or like what. But I don't know if that's how she was raised or if her parents treat her like so bad. Like, but yeah, she would steal my lunch and eat it for herself. So one day she literally, I told her, she asked me for my lunch and I told her no. I was like, no, you're not taking it. And she got so mad. She fucking like, she hit me. And I was like, bitch, the fuck? And I told the bus driver, I was like, she literally just like fucking hit me. And it was not just like, no, play hit. Bro, she fucking like hit me in the face. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, this is not fucking okay. So I told the bus driver didn't do shit. I told my teacher, the teacher didn't do shit. So that night, I remember when I got home, and my mom told me, she would always tell me, she's like, you told me when you got in the car, you told me everything, and I told you the next day. My mom apparently told me, she was like, tomorrow, if she steals your lunch and she hits you, if she tries to steal your lunch and you say no, she hits you, hit her back, bitch. I give you permission. So that was like the first time I got in like a fight, bitch. And mind you, I'm like 5, literally 5 or 6. I'm in kindergarten or preschool or whatever. I don't know, but I just remember I was on the bus. The little girl fucking tried to take my lunch again. I told her no again. She hit me, bitch. I beat her ass to the ground. When I tell you, I was sitting in that principal's office all day. And when my mom came to pick me up and the teacher walked me to the car, I remember the teacher told my mom, she was like, Miss Morales. Oh, I already said y'all know my last name. She was like, Miss Morales, like, your daughter Ruby, like, she, I don't know what happened, but like, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I told the teacher, but she didn't do nothing. And my mom was like, I'll handle it. And she was like, okay, thank you for telling me. And the teacher was like, what? You're not gonna tell your daughter nothing? And my mom literally told me in the car, she was like, good job, Ruby. Like, stand up for yourself. Yes. And I was like, okay. Yeah. That was like the first time I ever like experienced like a like, fat phobia in like the real world.
Mhm.
Um, and it'd be your own people. I remember that girl. She was not skinny.
Mhm.
Anyways, she was probably like the same size as me. Anyways, so fast forward a couple years later, I just grew an unhealthy like relationship with food. Like as I started growing up, I realized that like my dad was like very toxic and he had a lot of like toxic traits because of his mom. And like I guess to kind of cope with that, I was always like, okay, yeah, like let me eat food. I would always like eat to comfort myself. Like I'm telling you, like I would literally be crying and like I would be eating like a fucking big ass tub of ice cream, right? So it just like it was just very like that was my comfort. That was my like safe. That and sleep. So just imagine I'm eating, and then like, as I'm like sad and then like I sleep for like hours and hours on it. Like I'm not getting no exercise. I'm not going outside. I'm not doing nothing, right? The only exercise I have is going to school. And obviously that's not enough for anybody. Like the obviously. So basically, it just kind of happened. And like my dad is always like, he's like this type of person, like he'll eat anything, like anything. Like he's the type of person that like I said before, he'll be like, oh, finish your plate. And mind you, I have a past, like my family from my dad's side is very like diabetic, and a lot of people have like diabetes over there. So it's like genetic. So like I always like talked about like, oh, even if I was skinnier, like da da da. Like it just kind of happened. And like me being the weight that I am, it's just like it was just, I'm used to it now. But like as a child, that's very like scarring and like traumatizing for me. Cause like, bitch, why the fuck are you calling me fat? Like I'm child. It's giving that one Reddit where she the girl called the pregnant lady fat, and she's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
you
remember
too."
that.
If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. Do it real.
Oh. No, because remember my thing's inverted, that's why. So for you, I'm pointing for y'all, for the camera, I'm pointing up here. But for me personally, I'm pointing, like, right here.
It's okay. I'll put it right here for you, bro. I'll put it right here for you.
Alright.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, so like I just always had like a toxic relationship with food, and it was just always like my comfort. Um, and like like obviously like when I would get bored, I would eat, and like like just anything. I just found comfort in food, and then I would say like 2015 came around. And I started being in high school, and I noticed a lot of people judging me, like, just because of my weight. Like, they would like, like I talk about, they'll be like, "Oh," like, the first thing that they see is like, "Oh, she's fat." Like, that would be their first impression of me because I'm not fucking skinny, and I'm not a slim, thick baddie and shit, you know?
I did not mean to have flash on, we gotta redo it.
Oh, this girl.
I was so sorry. I was like, "Oh, damn." I didn't mean to pull out my
I'm
camera.
leaving that in,
But then I
bro.
saw myself.
Y'all gonna see how much ADHD Rev has. Anyways. So yeah, so like I
No,
was
but
always
I am still listening in. Don't worry, I
yeah.
am still listening in.
He just has AD he needs something to distract himself.
Yeah,
Anyway,
cause
well,
cause if I keep staying here, like, looking at myself, like, I'm gonna get, like, really tired, and I'm gonna
he's
start
gonna
falling
start
asleep.
falling asleep, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so I'm like, I'm
anyways,
trying to do
I
this.
just have such a calming voice and like get so relaxed.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so like 2015, my mom was like really like she was really trying to help me because she noticed that like for example, my freshman formal, she would be like, "Oh, Ruby, like let's go look for a dress," and there would not be my size and shit like in store, and I wouldn't be able to try on dresses like there then and there. I would have to order online, and then like you know how it is, like you always want to try on clothes in store because every brand and every like thing is different. So, like, it might fit one way on someone and then another way on So, like,
Mhm.
yeah. So, I was never able to do that, so my mom tried to get me into, like, losing weight and, like, so I started, like, going to the gym. I don't remember what the name of the place was. I'll put it F45, that's what it was called. It was called F45 Training and something, and I remember my mom I love my mom, but, like, what I'm telling you, it was so draining for me. I had such a bad, like it was so bad for me, like, mentally because, like, I would wake up at 3, I would go to the gym from, like, 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, and then I would come home at 5, I would shower and, like, get ready and then go to school at 6 and then be at school all day and then come home and I would, like because I don't eat school food, I would, like, stuff my face and I would, like, you know, because 'cause I'm, like, hungry from not eating all day and I don't eat breakfast like that. I'm sure Rem doesn't either. I don't eat
Mm-mm.
breakfast like that. So, I just don't have time. And even if I do, that's just not the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, oh, let me go make myself breakfast. No, it's kind of like I'm just kind of get like I'm ready to get out the house. So for me to like have that schedule every day, and my mom to like be like, oh yeah, come on, Ruby, like motivate me, like let's go to the gym, like let's go work out today. And it was just tiring, and then, like, I would come home, I would eat, and then I would take, like, a nap because I'm so tired, and then I would wake up, like, after, like, 2 hours and then go to the gym again with my mom, and then come back home and then do homework and, like, get ready for the next day and then go to sleep and then do the same thing over and over again. And then, like, on the weekends, my mom would have me, like, going to the gym and stuff, like, she would try to motivate me, like, "Oh, let's go for a run today, like, let's go out, like, let's do this." And I love her for trying to, like, motivate me and trying to keep me accountable, but, like, I was just tired, I was exhausted. Like and then mind you, this is right before COVID happened, so, like, everything's happening, like or this is, like, as COVID is, like, about to happen. This is my freshman year of high school. Um and, like, it's just horrible because, like, everyone's talking about, "Oh, this new sickness going around," and then, like, the moment I, like, started losing weight, I was so happy. I became a wellness coach, I started making money, I started teaching other people how to like how I lost weight and like how to like you know, it was finally like I finally felt like I was getting somewhere and I finally felt like that unhealthy relationship I had with food, I overcame it and I like, I got over it. But then fucking COVID hit. And that was horrible for me because like yeah, me going on walks and yeah, me going to the gym, I hated it for like the most part because I was exhausted, but at the same time like I loved it because like it's just like I love like feeling like productive. I'm sure everybody does like, "Oh my god, like I did so much today. I feel so productive." Like I don't feel like a lazy ass bum, you know? So when that got taken away from me because of COVID and I couldn't go out and like I wasn't going to school. I was at home all day. My mom would cook at home and like mind you, my mom, like she has her degree to like as a chef. So mind you, a lot of the food she makes is very fattening. So it's just like for me, I was like, bruh, like, oh my goodness, like I was gaining so much weight in so little time. And through COVID, I literally did not go out. Like the only person that went out of the house during COVID was my dad. So though that whole year of COVID or year and a half of COVID that we had like online classes, excuse me, that we had online classes and that we were at home all day and stuff like that, that I gained like probably like 40 pounds, 40, 50 pounds from that. And that's a lot. Like from where I got myself to, that was a lot for me. Like I gained back like twice as much as I lost. So not only did I gain all the way back, I gained back more and like that was so heartbreaking for me. So like because I had no way to cope with it, like all the stress and all like the everything, I couldn't go out because like, they had the mandate out and like nobody could be out there like. So I started eating a very unhealthy again. Like I would always just eat, 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 eat. Like at 3 in the morning. You see that? It's just on
Mhm.
me.
Oh, she mad.
She's a bitch. Shut up. At 3 in the morning, when I was like bored and I had nothing to do, I would go eat. Excuse me. Rem keeps yawning and it's making me tired now. Yeah, it was just heartbreaking to me. And my mom, I guess she saw that because fuck, like. So then she started. I love my mom for this because she saw that and she talked to my dad about it, and my dad was very understanding. And they started investing in our gym, and so like now, I'm so grateful for this because like now we have like our own little gym where we can go to, and like during COVID, it helped me a lot go to that like being able to go to that gym like and it just be me because like it was not breaking any laws, like, or the COVID mandate or whatever, and I was still able to, like, de-stress and get that out, right? So, I was like, "Okay, yes, like, this is perfect." And when I turned 15, I got my dog. So literally, like, it was literally, like, right after they finished, like, buying all the equipment for the gym. I still have videos of me in the car, and all the gym equipment is in boxes in the, like, back of the truck, and I'm, like, so happy, and I'm, like, so excited, I'm ready. Like, this is, like, finally my moment, right? Like, I'm ready to get back on track, and then they got me a dog, and, like, that was just the perfect cherry on top. Like, um, it was just amazing for me. And then I survived my sophomore year. Then junior year came around. The first half of junior year, I was amazing. It was fun. Like what I'm telling, that's why I told Rem like be prepared, like get ready. Don't like underestimate junior year because I'm telling you, as soon as like the end of February hits, oh, it gets so like it's so mentally challenging and a lot of people don't talk about it and like I feel so bad for people because like I'm thankful that I had my mom and dad as support, but I know a lot of people don't. So like for a lot of people it's going to be like so heartbreaking because a lot of people drop out junior year and then like the beginning of senior year. Because that's when like reality hits, like it gets serious, like, oh, like it's time for you to like start getting ready for life, right? So the end of junior year, I started because I was stressing so much and like because I never had time, I fell back into that coma of like, oh, unhealthy like food habits and like overeating and like stuff like that. And I remember like me, like I was always like doing homework. Like I would go to school. I would wake up early, but not like super early like I did before, like at 3 a.m. or 5. I would wake up like 30 minutes before I had to leave. I would drive to school with my sibling because it was just my brother at the time. I would drive to school with my brother, and then we would get off, and then I would go and I would like go do SATs, go do ACT prep, like whatever, and I would come home and I would be so exhausted. I wouldn't even eat. Like I would not even eat, and then I would fall asleep. And I know Rem's been through this before. Um, I would wake up in the middle of the night because like like slept when I got home, and I would just be like so hungry. I would eat, eat, eat. And if you guys don't know, when you're asleep, like from after like 10, your body, if especially if you sleep like at night a lot, your body kind of like stops. Um, like your metabolism slows down. You stop like digesting food as fast. That's why they tell you like don't eat after a certain time, right? Because then you'll gain like a lot of weight. Um, so me eating at like 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning is like not good, and then going back to sleep and then waking up and do um, and I guess my dad realized that like I was getting in an unhealthy habit. And mind you, at this time, me and my dad are like not like on the best like relationship, but like we're still hanging on by a thread. But we're not like we're barely talking. Like we could not go like every time we talked, we would get an argument. So like it literally whenever he would have to take me to school because like I couldn't drive or whatever, we would literally not talk in the car. Like it would literally be completely silent, like no music, no nothing. We would get so angry at each other when it was so toxic and like, like very like tension.
Hold on,
So
just one. You can continue your story. I'm just gonna do something real
okay.
quick.
So there was this one time where I had made coffee for myself, and mind you, like, I didn't have a machine at this time, so like I was like I just used the instant coffee because like I really needed it. And I put sugar in it because like I like my coffee sweet. My dad goes, "You're putting that much sugar in your coffee? That's a lot of sugar." And I told him, I was like, "Okay." And then I put caramel, like how like caramel drizzle.
Mhm.
And he was like, "That's a lot of caramel for you. I think you should like don't put no more." And I was like, "Bitch, am I drinking it or are you?" Like in that exact word. I remember exactly. I was like, bitch, am I drinking it or are you the fuck? And we got into a huge argument. I remember coming back to my room. I didn't even go to school that day. I just came in my room, and it was really hard for me because like that was the starting of like me being like not eating at all. Like that was like I already had like eating disorder because I already started like was already overeating, and like I've been in and out through it, but like that was the real like like oh
I was trying to see what it looked like on the
oh
camera.
Miss Girl. So yeah, that was like where I started like I would go like I would probably eat like 3 times a week. It was so bad.
Oh,
Oh,
gross. It's fine.
it's okay. I'll reset it. I would go like weeks and weeks without eating. Like I would eat like 3 days a week or 3 times a week. Like, and mind you, like I was going from like mind you, like those 3 days a week, I would only eat one meal. Like I wouldn't eat at school at all. I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat lunch. I would come home and I would make myself like a little snack, and it wouldn't even be like something nutritious, like or fulfilling. It would just be like a little thing, and I would be like, okay, let me do my homework and go to bed. So that's how it was for me, and like I fought a lot with like body dysmorphia, and like because some days I would be like, oh my god, I look so skinny today. And then, like, when I get to school, I'm like, "Bro, why did I put this on?" Like, I look so fucking fat. Like, oh my like, it was heartbreaking, like, I feel so bad for my younger self, and then, like, because I'm the oldest sibling, and this is really hard for me to talk about, so Imma try my best to talk about it without crying, but I probably will start crying because I'm a very emotional person. Um, my siblings, since I'm the oldest, like, my siblings look up to me. So, for them to see, like, me, like, going through all these, like, eating disorders and, like, struggling, like, stuff like that, I feel like sometimes I do feel like it is my fault that, like, a lot of my siblings, like my sister, I know she's going through like eating disorders and stuff right now. So like for her to like hopefully I hope to God that she like overcomes it. But like for her to see that, like for me to see that because like I went through it too. I feel like partially it is my fault because monkey see, monkey do,
Mhm.
Um, so for her to like be going, sorry, for them to be going through like um issues and like problems and shit, it's just like really heartbreaking. Like I went through that too, and I hope to God that she did that. Like my sister would never go through that, but then like seeing that, I'm like, oh shit, like because and I feel like it is my fault because I know there was times that they saw that like, oh, I'm not eating, or oh, I'm like I have a bad like relationship with food, and like I just like felt bad for her, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is my fault, right? I know like how my mom like felt bad and she thought it was her fault with like me. So I was just like, it was just horrible for me. So then senior year comes around and like I feel mentally I'm like just strained. I'm just over it. Like depression started kicking in. Like it was just so bad for me. And mind you, I barely graduated like last year, so this is pretty recent to me. So that's why this is a bit emotional. Um, I was just like, it was just horrible for me. Like I didn't even want to like because like I had so many issues and so many problems. I didn't even want to be alive anymore. Like I was done. I was over it. I was like, I can't. I'm trying to lose weight. I don't eat. I'm not losing weight. But then if I do eat, like I'm like it was just all fucked up. Like I was just like it was just horrible for me. Cause like when I wouldn't eat, I would still be gaining weight. So then when I would eat, I would like sometimes I wouldn't gain weight, but then sometimes I would gain like more weight. And it was just a lot for me. So like I was like very like struggling with food. And then like me seeing like my siblings go through that like overeating and like like under eating and stuff like that. It's like, oh fuck, like I need to better myself. So that was really like triggering me. And that was really like, oh shit, like I would like I would the last thing I would want to do is for Jacob or any of my siblings to come in and be like, oh, why is she saying that about herself? Like why is she calling herself ugly, or why is she calling herself fat? Or why like I would never want to like for them to like hear that or like see me, because like there's like times where Jacob will be like, "Oh my god, Ruby, you're so beautiful," or like, "Ruby, you're so pretty." So like, it would break my heart if Jacob like And if you don't know, Jacob's my youngest brother. He's 10 years younger than me, so like he's like my son basically. Because I raised that motherfucker, and I tell everybody that he's my kid because bitch, even though he didn't come out my fucking hoo ha, my cookie, that motherfucker's my kid. So it's like very like I don't want them to like I don't want to go through that again. So once I realized I started getting healthy, I started going back to the gym. I started like losing weight, and I started like because mind you, I might y'all might think I'm big now, but when I tell you like I was so it was just bad for it was just horrible. And like I'm telling you, like I didn't even I didn't take pictures of myself. Like I didn't want to do nothing. So like when homecoming came around and I finally had like the body that I was happy with, it was like that was like my point. That was like my breaking point. I was like, okay, I have to better myself, not only for me but just like because like I'm an example to like my brothers and my sister. Like I need to set a good example for them. I need to make sure that like I am a good influence because I would never want any of them to go through that. So, um, senior year comes around, homecoming comes, I finally get like somewhat of a body that I'm happy with, but like me and my dad at this point, we're not talking. Like I'm telling you, me and my dad had a horrible like we're not even like we can't even be in the same room. Like before we would be able to like sit in the car and like like at least like be okay with each other. We just wouldn't be able to like talk to each other. But now like at this point we couldn't even be in the same room. Like it was horrible to me. And that like really like was heartbreaking to me because I was like, dude, like I don't want to go back. I don't want to like I just lost all this weight. Like I don't want to start overeating and stressing. So I started going to the gym again, and thankfully, like, I was able to find myself and like find really good friends who helped me like figure out who the fuck I am. And now I am so thankful for all my friends and all my family because like I feel like I am well, some of my family cuz like I won't say who, but some of them are a little bit they're like they were the reasons that I like got into an eating disorder. So like yeah, I'm thankful for everybody because like that really like taught me like oh how to like love myself and like to be confident and not give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like you think I'm fat, okay, whatever. Like I'm not going to stop eating and like put myself through that just because you don't like the way I look. If I like the way I look, that's all that matters to me, right? And like now I'm so thankful like that like everybody like around me was very supporting, and I always that's why I started getting into like fitness and stuff because like if I'm going through it and I was able to overcome it, like I want to help other people like overcome it too, right? And like so that's why I kind of made a career out of it because like for the most part because like I want to help other people. Like I know what they've been through like personal on a personal level. It's not just like oh I was skinny like I work out like so I know there are some people out there who are already skinny and they say oh yeah I lost this weight but they didn't. So yeah, now fast forward to now I graduate, I'm like happy, I'm living my best life. I still don't have a good relationship with my dad, and I still kind of like I can tell that I'm falling back into it, but like into like having like an eating disorder again, but like I'm like fighting it. Like I'm actually like proud of myself because like when I tell you like I was fighting it, like I was like, you're not gonna fucking like I was literally fighting the like myself because like you know how they say like you're always your biggest like hater at the end of the day, and you're always your biggest supporter. So they always say like I don't know what it like I don't know how to explain it, but like it was just like I was fighting myself and I was like trying so hard not to go back into that. And thankfully like now I started working, like I don't know if it's because I'm distracted or if it's because like I genuinely got better, but like now I'm working, I'm streaming, I'm hanging out with friends, like I'm going out, like I'm living like my best life right now. And it's just kind of like like I want other people to realize that like you can get through it, you can overcome it because like it's not nothing's impossible. So like yeah, I guess that's kind of like how my story went because like just know out there like this is just to anybody like TSA like if you are overcoming with and you have an unhealthy relationship with food, just like honestly talk about it with someone because like when I was keeping it to myself it was
Yeah.
what are you doing? You look like you're struggling there, honey.
No, I'm struggling because of stupid things. I'm trying to disattach something and it's like freaking struggling so badly, bro. Trying to disrupt the string, but like it's like stuck in a knot and it's fucking annoying, bro. I'm trying to like freaking break it apart, but it's not working.
Oh, girl. Okay. Let me go ahead and finish up so we can start our rhyme story. But yeah, so like that was like that was like very like, triggering for me or whatever. But I mean, if you I didn't talk about it with my mom and like I was like I think she always knew because she always tried to help me, but I never sat down and talked about it. But the moment I sat down and talk with her about it, and I was like, because my mom, like how like like how they call you names, I'll be like, oh, my mom would call me fat. Like she would be like, oh, that's why you're fat, or like stuff like that. Like as like but with love. She would say it with she would say it with love. You should have tucked that shit over your hands, Miss Girl.
No, it's already just attached to my hands, but like it's then stuck in a knot and I'm trying to get it out.
So yeah, I was just like, I was just talk about it. If it gets to the point where it gets really bad and you feel like you have no one to support you, talk to your counselor, talk to your therapist, like just reach out because there is always someone there to help you until like you're able to overcome it. Um, but yeah, I feel like at any moment I low key like I know this is supposed to be like a happy ending and like that, but like the reality of it is like I feel like at any moment like if there's, like, something that happened, I feel like I would fall back into it. Like, I would try not to, but, like, there's sometimes where, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it'll, like, peak out and it'll be like, "Oh, shit, like, I shouldn't be eating." Like, right now, I should not have ate that. But, like, I was just kinda, like, bored, and I was just like, "You know what? Fuck it. Imma just eat it."
Mhm.
It's just scary because, like, like, you wanna take care of yourself. You wanna, like, you don't want people's opinions on you and just to be like, "Oh my gosh," or they're fat or, like, So it's just a lot, but, like, at the same time, guys, you can overcome it, and, like, I really do not support unhealthy habits with food because, like, it is very scarring and very, like, very wounding and hard to overcome. So, just talk reach out, talk to somebody, talk to someone about it. I'm sure you can come to a conclusion, and I'm sure you can fight and get over it, just like for the most part. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna move on and talk about REM story.
Mine. Okay, so it all starts when I was born. Alright. Well, in my family, I'm always known as, like, the big child, like, both tall-wise because I'm a really tall child. I
Let's see,
was really tall for
stand up
my
first,
age.
REM.
That's really just my black shirt. Hold on, let me literally back up a little bit over here.
Girl,
Yay, you can't even see
we
me.
can't see, it's too dark.
Okay, but oh.
Your mic wanted the spotlight for a little Okay, anyway.
Alright, well, anyways, yeah, for my family, I'm, like, the biggest one. And, like, it's kinda been, like, there's this, like it hasn't I'm not gonna say it's been hard because it hasn't really been hard because I would think that, like, I like to say that I was more born just really big, like, I'm a big person. Um, but, like, something about me is that I'm not really into sports, as you could say. Like, I will play sports, but, like, not, like, professionally, like, for, like, a school team or nothing like that.
Mhm.
I'll do it, like, as, like, a natural activity. And I think, like, my whole life, I always asked, like, "Do you play football? Do you wanna play football? You wanna do all this stuff?" I'm just like, "No." And then it kinda, like, made me feel really bad about myself because then my dad would always not only that, it's not that, like, I it's just not in my best interest.
Oh my god, what
You're just like
the
my dad, girl. Like, don't say that because that genuinely
heck?
does not make me happy.
I'm
It
okay.
gives me flashbacks. No,
Yeah, yeah.
because, like, my dad always would tell me that I had such a wasted potential with my body
Bruh.
because I wouldn't join any sports.
Tell
I
him
know he
be like,
didn't
"Womp
mean
womp
it.
ho."
I know he didn't mean it, but, like, it's just, like, I understand that, like, he always wanted me to do this stuff because I was his firstborn son, but
Mhm.
it's just, like, it just wasn't in my best interest. It's just not something I was into. And, like mhm.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Okay. But yeah, it just wasn't really in my best interest. And then today we're really talking about like eating disorders, but like my eating disorder, I would say like a lot of times I would eat because I was bored. I didn't know what to do in my free time when I was little. So all I would do was eat. And not only that, like when I was little, my parents were both like pretty also plus size. Like they'll also eat a lot. But, like, over time, like, they both lost a lot of weight, they both look really good now. However, I was kinda left like, I'm too young to do this, I don't wanna do it no more, blah, blah, blah." And I guess we could say, like, "Oh, okay." Whenever I was in, kinda, like, around middle school, junior high, which is, like, 5th grade to 8th grade, I would kinda get, like, I grew up in, like, a country area, and, like, where more whites are involved, which I don't wanna bring race into this, but, like, it kinda made me feel weird, like, being, like, only kinda like tan-skinned person, like, kinda
The
like
only,
more
like, colored,
Hispanic.
yeah.
Like, I wasn't really the only one
You
because
were
there
the
were others,
only
like
you were the only flavor there.
yeah. No, I was not the only flavor there. There was a ton of other flavors, but there was, like, multiple ones, but, like, I felt like with my like, most of my family, like, being from Mexico and speaking Spanish, like, they would know about that, and they'll be like, "Oh," like, not being racist towards me because 'cause they'll never do that, even if they do, they're doing it as a joke, and they'll never, like, stereotype but the thing is that, like, sometimes they would say, like, certain stereotypes, how, like, I'm the big boy and all that stuff, they'll call me a gordo because my grandma calls me gordo, and, like, I let my family say those names because it's just who I am. I'm like, "Okay, that's my new nickname, blah, blah, blah," but it doesn't get to me, but when other people call me that, it's just like, "You don't call me that, only
Okay, so
my."
now I have a triggering question. When me and like other people in our friendship call you like Biggie and stuff, do you take offense to it or do you know that we're just joking?
I know y'all are joking. I will not take offense to it because, like, I know y'all don't mean it in, like, a harmful way. But, like, when y'all keep dragging it on and blah, 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 like, I'm just like, "Okay, not too much now." But, like, if y'all keep dragging it, then I'm like, "Okay, not too much now. Y'all are not too much." But, like, I wouldn't mind if y'all, like, do it. What's going on?
Lola. Girl, they was hooking up in the corner and I didn't even notice.
Oh.
Womp womp. If I can't have love, neither can they.
Why did you freaking sound so mad? Like, you were just like I
I was
was like, "What the
I
hell?"
was laughing, and then this one, the pink one started going back to her man. She said, "Oh, not today, Miss Girl." She started going that way. And I was like, "Oh no, Miss
Mhm.
Girl."
I need to be like those, like, freaking hearts one day, like, "Girl, I just need to, like, go chasing after someone." But
Mm,
nobody's worth being to chase after.
no man.
Okay, anyways,
Switch sides, Rem, for the
I
day.
mean
Which side?
oh, okay.
Switching sides.
Switching sides. Okay, well, anyways,
Anyways.
I would say, like, I when I was little, I was, like, a really big chunky kid because I would genuinely eat a lot, like, more for my age, and, like, doctors will always tell me, like, "Oh, he's too big for his weight,
Yeah, that's
blah,
what
blah,
I
blah,"
dreaded too,
and,
bro.
like and I'm just like, oh, Um, and it's just not something that I wanted to, like, hear a lot, but I knew I needed to hear because I knew I needed to change myself. And so, I guess you could say I my parents, like, signed us up for kickboxing. And in those classes, it was like an hour class, but, like, I considered it like my gym because we would do stretches. I was, like, really flexible. We did stretches. We would sometimes do crawling on the floor. We would and then, like, the first that was for the first 30 minutes. The next 30 minutes, you would have to, like, spar with somebody, like, in the middle in front of everyone.
Oh, girl, uh-uh. Girl, I would
Box.
get, secondhand
Fu
embarrassment.
funny story. Oh, it came time for our belts, which, I had to go for, like, a Saturday on, and, like, there's, like, this other, like, I think senior girl in the group, like, she's been there for a while, and,
Mhm.
like, I was put up against her,
Oh,
and, like, I can hit hard, but I didn't want to.
girl, I woulda fucked that bitch up.
I just didn't want to, like, I knew I had to, and she knows how to fight, like, she threw punches at me, she made me have tears in my
Ooh.
eyes,
Oh,
like,
girl.
"Oh, girl," like,
Is that
she was
life or flight?
she
That life instinct shoulda kicked in. Bishop shoulda beat her ass.
I know, I started doing it, like, towards, like, near the end, I started going, like, just doing like that, and she was like, "Ooh, ooh," and we're just like, "Oh, damn." No, but no, but most definitely, if that was like, "Oh, who won?" She most definitely beat my ass.
Oh,
Miss
Miss Girl.
Badass, period.
She ate that.
Um, okay, but then anyways, but yeah, I considered that, like, a lot of time with my gym and all that stuff, and I was like, "Okay, I'm losing a lot of weight," and I remember my dad told me, like, around near the end of 2018 or 2019, which I was only in that class for, like, I think about a year, but I
Mhm.
remember, like but, prior to doing that, I remember my dad told me, like, "Hey, don't take this for granted, but I see you losing a lot of weight,"
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm finally making, like, progress, like, I can at least get, like, skinnier a lot." Um And then with 2019 ending, I was like, "Okay,
Mm.
like, everything seems to be going okay, I guess." But then, like, not COVID hit, but not only did COVID hit, my parents split up happened. It was, like, probably, like, the most, like, difficult time for me because I knew how to comprehend what was going on. I wasn't like those people who were like, "Oh my god, my parents are splitting up, blah, blah, blah,"
Exactly.
because I could see it happening. I saw it happening from, like I could predict it. And so I wasn't dreading on that, but I dreaded on, like, the arguments that happened and then, like, COVID hitting us, and then, like, it was, like, a really hard time for us because I was first of all, I was living with my mom's side, I was living in a freaking house with, like, 10 other people, and then on my dad's side, like, he's out working and telling us that the world's ending, and I'm just like,
Oh man.
"Oh," it's just like it was such a hard time for me, and then, like, with COVID hitting, and then all you wanna do is just eat junk and stay inside all day, I got really in bad shape, like, very, very, very. And then with, um, with my parents splitting up, and then, like, I was kinda caught in the middle of between those crossfires. They never wanted to bring me up in it, but I would dread feeling it because I'm like, "Oh my god, bro, it's just not something I wanna do." And then, like, I needed to distract myself from something, and I thought the only thing I could distract myself was, like, what I always used to do is just fucking eat. And so, that was just what I turned to. And I got into, like, really bad shape, like, I had a I had a big belly.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just like I just stopped taking care of myself a lot of the time, and, like, I just didn't care because I genuinely thought that my end of my days were happening, and, like, I thought that the world would never go back to normal, and then, like, everything was gonna go bad in the world.
Mhm.
But then, like, things started going well for me. The fighting between my mom and my dad that finally stopped came to a stop, although sometimes they do it now here and there to
It cooled
just
down.
it cooled down. It cooled down a lot more because back then, when my parents used to have arguments when they were still together, they never argued like, "Oh, blah, blah," yelling at each other. Like, they would just, like, have a disagreement, just not talk to each other for the rest of that day, and then the next day, they'd just be back to normal, stuff like that. But when they would genuinely, like, yell at each other, it's just, like, it got to me. And then, like, now it's gone. There's no more arguing between them 2, they're peaceful with each other, they talk about is really what all they really have anything to talk about with each other is just revolving us, like, around with, like, appointments and stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's gone really good, and however, I guess with, like, school returning back then and, like, with homeschooling, first of all, it really got to me because I was not good at it. Like, my teachers expected way so much more to me, it was stressing me out, and then when I turned to my mom, like, she did not help me whatsoever, like, she was just sitting there, like, yelling at me and judging me, and it's just, like, it was so hard for me to do it, like, I think parents don't realize this, but, like, when your kid's having trouble or, like, they're stressed out about something, like, don't stress them out more by
Don't
yelling
add
at
on
them.
to it, yeah.
Don't add on to it because that really fucked me up,
'Cause
like,
sometimes
I
all
was
you need is, like, a, like, backbone, and you need, like, support, and, like, I feel like especially when, like, parents don't really know how to, like, do that because, like, they were never given that, it's like, it's so fucked because then, like, you feel like you're, like, not supported and shit like that, yeah.
Mhm. And I'm just like it's just, like, not something I wanna it's just something that I did not need in my life. Um, Fast forward to, like, around 2021, 2022, things started kinda getting better. I started slowly but surely stop overeating too much, I would say, because like, I would, like, eat so much, but then, like, I slowly but surely stopped eating so much, but, like, I'm still, like, trying to break away from that, like, constantly eating thing because
Yeah.
although I don't do it as much, there'll be days where I'm just like, "I don't care no more, I'm just gonna eat it." Because, like, I don't eat for the rest of I don't the thing is that when I go a day without eating, because I don't eat breakfast in the mornings, which I think
Mhm.
is bad because I think you need, like, your breakfast in the mornings, but I just genuinely don't have time to eat breakfast and then run to school and all that stuff because I don't prepare breakfast in the mornings, and nobody prepares it for me. As they
Yeah.
shouldn't, like, I need to be treated
Oh, that's
royalty, you know
not.
what I'm
That's
saying?
not.
But no, I don't eat breakfast in the mornings, and then, like, I get hungry throughout the whole day, and then when I get home, I just start munching my face off and everything I can find, and then I think that's just so bad for me. And, like, I'm trying to break away from that thing, but, like, it's hard, because, like, although I'm not going through any issues with my mom and dad no more, there
Like,
are
that's just
still
how you
issues.
grew up.
That's just how I grew up. I just grew up freaking eating because they're like, "Oh, no, you need to lose weight." And then, like, I get told in the other person, like, "Oh, come on, eat your food. Like, stop letting your food go to waste." And I'm just like, I can never win with that stuff. And then like growing up, oh, it irritates me so much that like I was always told like, "Oh, you're too big. You can't be doing this no more." And like I'm big, like I'm just gonna say I'm fat. Like I'm big and fat. But like I'm also just generally big and like bodied and bone and stuff. And so like I can't do stuff like little people can do. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
for
it's
two
true.
people, yeah.
Like petite people, and like it always kind of like bums me out when I go to stores and like we always want to get like stores that clothes that people buy like
Mhm.
brands, but I can't because they don't have my size. And then like
And
um,
that sucks, dude. Cause like, a lot of stores are not inclusive whatsoever, like, they do not give 2 fucks, and it's like, you know how heartbreaking it is, like, going to a store and then they tell you, "Oh, we only carry up to this size."
we don't have your size, and I'm just like, it's like it's humiliating for me. Like I understand, like they're not the ones making the clothes and like all that
Or,
stuff,
like, have you ever
but
been shopping with your friends or no?
yeah, I went shopping with my friend once at the Galleria.
Yeah, it's, like, so bad. 'Cause they'll pull out, like, a medium. They'll be like, "Oh, look, here, look, I found this for you. Try this on." And you're like, "I'm
I
not a
can't.
medium, babes. I can't fit into that." Like, and then
Mhm.
it just kinda makes you feel bad, like,
And, like,
inside.
it's made me feel bad on the inside because, like, there'll be literally clothes that I genuinely wanna wear, like, fashion that I wanna have, but
Mhm.
they just don't fit me. They just don't have my size. And then, like, when they do at least have my size, it looks kinda, like, little bit short, but not too much. But then, like, as you know, sometimes my dad doesn't like those kinds of clothes, and he would prefer me to wear baggy clothes, which there's no issue with baggy clothes, like, it's fine, but it's just that, like, I don't wanna have, like, a bunch of my closet stacked with baggy clothes, you know?
Yeah,
It's just,
like,
like,
you
not
want,
something I
like,
wanna have.
variety, yeah.
Like, I want a variety, not just, like, oh, freaking long ass t-shirt and then, like, long ass pants, you know?
And another thing I wanted to add to that, excuse me, is that, like, even if you did, like, dress really nice and you ate, like, you have taste in fashion and shit, it's so sad to see that, like, now, like, in, like, our generation, our society, that, like, people will judge you solely based off because you're fat. Like, if you're fat, the first impression someone is gonna, like, when they see you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, she's, like, bigger. She's or he's bigger. He's, like, plus size or whatever." Oh, like, he's, like, like, even if your outfit is, like, serving and, like, like, you look like, you're decent looking or you're good looking, just because you're fat, people are gonna be like, "Oh, okay, well, she's fat, so or he's fat, so, like, let me not." And
Well,
that's
something
so
about my
sad.
parents, like, used to say, like, I am pretty big for my weight, but, like, that's just because I was just born, like, this way, and, like, if I do decide I wanna start working out and going to the gym again, like I used to,
Mhm.
I won't get skinny, I'll just get muscle because, like, I generally, like, I am fat, I will say I do eat a lot, but, like, also, I'm just really big and tall. And, like, when you're, like, someone who's, like, my size like, Ruby has not seen me real life, but I guarantee you when she sees you, she's like, "Oh."
No, I don't think so. I feel like I grew up because, like, also, like, how you said my family's, like, really, like, they come from that, like, big bone, like, my dad is, like, he's pretty big, and, like, my dad's side of the family is, like, they're pretty, like, known for, like, diabetes and, like, being overweight and, like, stuff like that. So, like, and that's why when, like, I'm talking to, like, Vincent about it or I'm talking to, like, Eli about it, they, like, it's heartbreaking to me because, like, I know that, like, even though they mean the best, they don't understand to the full extent because 'cause they're skinny, right? They have those genes.
Mhm.
Like, I know Vincent, one time he was, like, AKA fat, but, like, when I seen the pictures of him, like, fat, it looked average to me. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's what you consider fat?" That's why, like, when I the first time I met Vincent, I was like, "Oh, I hope, like, he doesn't, like,"
Yeah.
'cause I know damn well I'm not skinny. But, like, I was like, "You know what? It's okay. It's whatever." Like, yeah, I was
Yeah, and, like, I just, like I sent to see people on Insta stories, they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm getting fat," but they still look nice and all that
oh
stuff, they still
my
look so skinny,
goodness.
and I'm just like, "Bro, you do not know what fat is, girl." Like, yeah, you might be gaining a few pounds, but it's like you still look the same, you
Have you
don't
seen
look any
that TikTok
different.
where it's like, "If you kick all the fat people out, who are the skinny bitches gonna go to vet and make them feel better about themselves?
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's so true
Oh,
though,"
that
because, like,
is
bro, you don't know how many skinny people I've ran into where they'll come to me and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm so fat." Bitch, if you're fat, then what the fuck am I, bitch?
Yeah. Oh my god. But anyways, currently right now I'm trying to like fix myself. Like I stopped eating so
Like your
much.
eating habits and stuff.
I stopped eating so much. Like I'm slowly but surely starting to eat healthier. And like I see I need to start working. I think the one thing is I need to start working out more. But like I also need to just cut back on my eating habits because like
Bro,
I've been drinking a lot of water recently.
mhm.
Like
Go get
I
a
always
job
have
at
like
Target, bro. That's you'll get a free workout and you'll get paid, bro. Bro, when I worked at Target, they had me doing labor, bro. They had me doing everything. Let me know if y'all
oh,
want a story time about how I worked at Target, because I will definitely drop that shit. I will definitely give y'all the tips and tricks and the discounts and everything, Bookie. Like, don't play with me. Cause
but
fuck
yeah,
Target.
yeah, that's basically my story of like where how it used to be for me, and where I'm at now. Where like I was really judged a lot for being big a person, and then like I know my family doesn't mean harm when they say like, "Oh wow,
Honestly,
you're a
yeah.
big boy," or like stuff like that. But like when I remember back then I used to be 14. Well, obviously, but, like, I was really big for a 14-year-old, and so whenever people were like, "How old are you?" 14, like, "Damn!" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking zoo exhibit, I guess." Like
It's just like, dude, some people these days are so
like
extra.
like, I understand, like, you never probably seen, like, someone, like, big like me before, but, like, go to Samoa and then, like, see all them, like,
Oh yeah,
huge-ass
Samoans.
kids.
Oh yeah, they're
They're
pretty tall.
huge, like, they're pretty tall, bro, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, "Girl."
Girl,
I need
but
me a Samoan girl.
I've never actually, that's a lie. I have seen like ugly Samoans, but most of them are like on me. Okay, guys, so that's gonna be the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I know I kind of cried a little bit, and Rem cried too, but we cut that part out. But Rem did cry too, so don't think I was the only one that was crying. But this is still. I want you guys to know that this is still like very new to us. Like this is still very recent because like I know I won't say that, but like this is still a very much open topic. If you know what I mean, you get what I mean. But if you don't, then you're too young to understand. You don't need to understand. Um, let us know in the comments down below what kind of topics you want to hear us talk about, and like if you want to hear our opinions on anything, or yeah, or anything like that. Let us down know. Let us know in the comments down below.
Okay. Make sure y'all subscribe and like the video. Also a little side note I want to talk about personally is that if I know people are also having issues with like their bodies, and I hope that if us talking about it could like help you relate to us and like, like no, you know that you're not alone in this
Yeah,
situation and that we're here to like tell you our perspective and that you shouldn't be scared or worried to like talk to someone about it. So
yeah.
we highly recommend that you at least like get out there and share your
Get off your
experience or
chest.
like get it off your chest, I should say, versus like keeping it inside and then you're dwelling upon it and then
Hmm.
just like it just stays inside of you and just never comes out because we want to. I think life is too short to be taken for granted and that you always want to like
Yeah.
live to the fullest, and you don't wanna, like, stop life while you're just getting started, you know? So, that's all I gotta say.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for watching. We love you guys so much. Y'all stay tuned for next week's episode. We love you, okay?
Yes.
Bye, guys.
We love you so much. Bye.